So I'm way early for an appointment. I figured I'd make a TikTok that really nobody cares about, but it's more for me. So as someone who's been in a relationship for about the past 25 years, married for almost the past 24, and newly is separated or been separated for a year, filed for divorce, and has been dating or dating a person for a decent amount of time, and then to have said person that seemed like a great guy that you really connected with, that like you just enjoyed each other's company and it was easy, to kind of just out of nowhere decide that he wanted to end it, that right now he didn't want a relationship. And he has some stuff going on personally that, and I get he can't dedicate the time that he needs, and I was causing extra stress when I said I wouldn't. But it's like being in high school and breaking up with that boyfriend that you really liked. It's rough. And I've heard people say like the first breakup after like marriage is the hardest one, or can be the hardest one. And maybe.
Oh, poor you. Let me get this straight. You are all broken up because the boyfriend you had, which I will bet $1, she had this boyfriend lined up well before she put in for divorcing her husband of 24 years, i.e., he is just a friend. Yeah, right. Well, after she filed for divorce, the awesome boyfriend she had lined up as her middle-aged Prince Charming decided, nah, I'm good. I think I will call it quits now while I am ahead. And all of a sudden, the fairy tale ending she had planned using the ever-important logic of her feels got smashed up on the rocky shores of reality. Suck it up, Buttercup. Your actions have consequences, and the one everyone should be feeling anything for would be her ex-husband, who just got dragged into the theme park rides of family court, all because this gem of a decades-plus post-war queen did the usual trope of thinking her personal feels were far more important than the needs of her family. Excuse me while I take a moment to reflect on how much her tears mean absolutely nothing compared to the legal hell she is putting her ex-husband through.
It's more so because I shouldn't have been in a relationship so close to ending my marriage. So it's more like a trauma bond, and we were kind of codependent on each other, but it doesn't make the pain feel any less. It's still pretty fresh because it just happened on Monday and I wasn't expecting it. And I went from having someone I talk to most of the day, all day, if I'm not spending time with them for the last months, many months, and then before that we were friends, to no contact at all. And it's hard. And it makes me not ever want to date again, honestly. Because if I'm this heartbroken after one, I don't think I can handle another one. And everyone tells me that dating sucks, like in general. That there's a lot of weirdos, that like people will tell you whatever. And it's hard to meet people now because nobody goes anywhere. Or if you do, like, how do you know you're not totally just meeting some weird person that is just telling you what you want to hear? I don't know. I guess it's time to just focus on myself for a little bit. What else can you do?
You shouldn't have been in a relationship so close to your divorce? Damn, this queen dodges accountability better than Neo dodges bullets. She could just admit she planned this relationship as her exit strategy from her marriage. This is a very common tactic women use, and equally common, it doesn't work out long term. Just say it, sister. Say, I was trying to exchange one relationship for another one, and it didn't work out. That's it. And her saying she thinks she can't date anymore because she is heartbroken? Oh, someone please break out the violin, as unbelievably her breaking up her marriage based on feeling somehow, some way, resulted in that she forgot to calculate the distinct possibility of having to go back into the dating market with a far lower SM Person V, composed of a wall smashing and evidence she is the one who breaks up long-term commitments. Ladies, I do feel for women who are forced into the dating market at middle age for reasons beyond their control, but a classic case like this one is undoubtedly not pulling my heartstrings in the least for her. I may be wrong, but somehow I would not be surprised if she has tried running back to her ex-husband just to get rejected as harsh as a teenage kid trying to buy a six-pack of beer without a legal ID.
But wait, there's more.
So I know I look like a little bit crazy. I only got 3.5 hours of sleep because I have insomnia even after I took melatonin. But it's just crazy how like you can be sitting and you can be fine, and then like all of a sudden out of nowhere, like you remember again that you can't reach out to that person, or like, and it hurts because you're worried about them. And I know that he doesn't deserve me to like feel the way I do, but that's the type of person that I am, that I just see the best in people, and people that I care about, I never want anything bad to happen to them. And maybe I'll move past that and I'll be angry, but for right now it's just really hard to not reach out or like, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. It's just hard, and like I know it's gonna get better, but I'm still struggling.
She feels bad because she reached out to that person, being the ex-boyfriend, and she is worried about him. Translation from Womanese: she feels lonely because the boo she picked to replace her ex-husband of 24 years dropped the deuces on her and decided he didn't want to handle all her baggage. And the part where she said she knows he doesn't deserve it.
Are you sure about that?
Really? He doesn't deserve a woman who put in for a divorce of her last marriage to worry about him. Trust me, sister, I don't think he is extremely broken up at this point. Some may even argue the guy dodged a bullet. And if she actually were the type of person who sees the best in people, I would argue she should have applied that with her marriage. Not once did she say her ex-husband abused her. That makes it clear he was not a bad guy in the least, and he stayed with this total catch for 24 years. Oh, boo-hoo, it's so hard to reach out. Again, another translation from Womanese. I am so sad both my ex-husband and ex-boyfriend don't want anything to do with me, so I am making this video and posted it on the internet in hopes it will get sympathy from online strangers to help me justify my bad choices. Tell me in the comments if you think my translation was off or I missed something. Look at the bright side, queen. You are strong, independent, and living the dream now. Moving on.
Hey y'all. So, I'm gonna get a little personal here. I am almost 50, and getting back into the dating game, and it sucks. Like, I mean, I've been single for like 13 years, but just busy with myself, my son, now grown. But anyways, we're not gonna talk about all that. But the thing now is like dating sites, and I do not like dating sites, but I work so much, like I don't ever have the opportunity to meet anyone. And so here's the thing with these dating sites, like you have all these people messaging you, and then they want to like message you all day long, and I mean talking about nothing. And like I don't have time to sit there and message all day long, you know. And not just that, I don't want to put that much time into somebody before I go on a date. Because that first date, like me, I have to feel something for someone. Like there's got to be spark, chemistry, good conversation, something. And I'm bad. Like, I mean, like if I don't feel it, I don't want to continue.
She doesn't want to be texting all day. Fair enough. Busy people don't have time for games. But let's be honest, women don't initiate dating conversations in person or in text. That's almost always the guy, because all women, regardless of age, like to be pursued. Sure, you can buy into the Bumble app strategy of women initiating the conversation. That's working out awesome for the shareholders.
I was way off.
And her story of getting back into the dating game after being single for 13 years? Sure. Let me remind my viewers that a woman's definition of being single is very different from a man's definition. I mean, what encompasses a woman being single, let's see. One night stands? Still single. Hitting up the old bed buddies for a roll in the sheets a few times? Still single. Making out with a guy after a chat over a coffee? Still single. Going on a cruise and having a hot girl minute with some hot stranger after getting tipsy? Still single. Am I saying this queen did those things? No. I am saying women believe the word single has got tons of flexibility.
It's got electrolytes.
Which, you know, isn't necessarily always a good thing, because you know, people are usually nervous on first dates. They can't be themselves, or they're not themselves, or whatever. And this talk, like, okay, why do we have to talk about? Why must you bring up sex, or talk, or I'm horny? What are you doing this morning? I'm horny. I don't know you like that yet. I'm not a prude. Definitely not a prude. But, like, I told this one, I'm like, I'm a lady, and I expect to be treated like a lady. And, you know, they don't like that. I don't want no D-pics. It's just crazy. I hate that this is how things are now. Dating apps and texting and all of that. I've always been one, like, I want to meet someone just on a whim and be like, oh, hey, you know, and go from there. Don't work that way, though. So, dating after 40? So, y'all, I know somebody's watching this that is in the dating game out there, over 40. Tell me your thoughts. I want to know.
I'm not a prude. Definitely not a prude. Yeah, that brings a lot more sus to the 13-year single claim, now doesn't it? Now, I will say sending D-pics really doesn't work out well, although I have heard the claim from some guys that it does work well if you are well endowed. And she is DTF. Hey, who am I to criticize a tactic that works, right? Back to this queen. If she is shocked and shaken by how the dating game is in the West, well, it's not how it was when she was in her 20s. Sorry, queen. With wall smashing and a lower SMB, it's just not going to be a walk in the park. And if we throw on top of that her unrealistic expectations, well, that's just a recipe for a total letdown. Welcome to dating on a harder setting, i.e. what the average Joe has been dealing with since day one of dating. Oh, don't worry, it's only gonna get tougher the higher she sets her standards. Okay, let me put it a different way for my female viewers. Have you ever visited a place in your youth that made a real impression on you, like maybe an old neighborhood or some favorite past vacation spot? Then you return about 15 years later and are shocked by either the drastic changes or the disarray you witness on your return. Then you realize the only one expecting nothing to change about it was you. Yeah, well, that's the decades post-wall you and the modern dating reality. Same difference.
Same, but different. But still same.
Moving on.
Here's what you need to know about dating in your 40s. I should preface this by saying I am single. I'm not going to share what has worked for me because obviously I'm still single. However, I feel like I've finally reached a place where I'm actually enjoying the dating process. And I feel like that is an achievement in itself. So let me share my approach to dating with you. Firstly, I have been that girl that's found dating to be anxiety-inducing, stressful, upsetting. I've had to really do some work on myself, my self-worth, and some of my insecurities to be able to reach this point. If you're not quite there yet, that's okay, but you will get there. So the first thing that I do is I let the men do all the work. That's gonna be so controversial, but I'm saying it anyway. Let them do the work. And by that, I mean I sit back and I allow them the space to come to me. I know it can be hard to sit back and let somebody take the lead sometimes, especially as either single moms or I'm a business owner. I'm, very much used to stepping in and getting things organized and getting things moving. However, I found that in my dating life, I really do prefer to sit in a more feminine role. And the kind of man that I want to date is that traditionally masculine man. So by sitting back and allowing him to initiate the contact, by allowing him to plan the dates and get in contact with me.
She kind of set this entire thing up perfectly by saying she is giving dating advice while she is single. That's like taking financial management advice from a compulsive spender. But either way, let's break down her dating advice and see where exactly her flow of knowledge of the carousel will lead to. She's enjoying the dating process. Him, her, bodies. I mean, let's be honest, even for the best player, to say the dating process is enjoyable is a stretch. And as for a woman, they want one man to settle down with. To say she enjoys the process of dating is akin to saying in job hunting, they are enjoying the interview process. Somehow, that's either cope or code for having fun racking up the mileage meter. Her stance on letting the man do all the work, let me tell you ladies, why this strategy works in the short term and falls apart in the long term for boss babes. It's because this is how boss babes fake being submissive to attract a traditional masculine man, but soon enough, her masculine demeanor comes out and the man she's attracted to drops the deuces and hits the road.
Allows me to assess what kind of man he really is. What I have found through doing this is that the men who are not particularly masculine, they can get a little bit frustrated and see themselves out. The ones that are the kind of men that I want to date, they really enjoy it. The second thing I'd say that is really important is to just have a full and busy life of your own. I keep myself so busy with my friends, with my businesses, with my girls, with all the other things that I'm doing in my life. If a man is not calling and planning dates with me, I don't really even think about it because I'm so busy doing other things. The two men that I went on dates with recently, they have both tried to book me in for another date, but I've just been so incredibly busy, and it's not a game that I'm playing, it's actual fact. I am just that busy, and what it has shown them is they need to be proactive. They need to plan this in advance if they want to see me. The third thing is I'm not really interested in going on coffee or walks or just to drink dates. I only accept dinner dates. And I realized that there are people who prefer to just have a quick drink just to check if there is a vibe there before proceeding forward. However, I prefer to talk to somebody for a little bit longer before I actually meet them. Have a few phone calls, definitely lots of texting, maybe a FaceTime to see if there is a spark and chemistry there and an interest. And if at that point they are not asking to take me out to dinner, that's not the man for me.
They need to be proactive if they want to see her. Okay, she may think this is working to her advantage, but it really isn't. I mean, let's look at it logically. She said the men who she is attracted to love it. Really, I would argue the men she is attracted to love it because they aren't taking her seriously. And they probably see it as she is going to be a filler in their roster. Sorry, sister, but those men who don't get frustrated are the ones attracting 90% plus of all the women in the dating market. And holding the standard of he has to take you out to dinner, I have to ask, how high do you think your SMV is? I mean, don't get me wrong, as I'm sure she is still getting to go on dates. My point is, doesn't she realize there may be a reason she is still single? Okay, just follow me here for a second. She puts up all these high standards. Let's say an attractive man with some free time who was going out to dinner anyway invites her to tag along. Great. But then she shows up with the boss babe attitude, and the HVM that makes her nether regions tingle decides, nope, this isn't going too far for too long.
And after that, I may not want to go for dinner. So I guess that is probably my way or my version of the coffee date or the quick meet. And then if there is that interest there, you have that beautiful romantic first night meeting. This is how somebody who is such a hopeless romantic wants to start a relationship. I don't want to start it with a walk. Finally, don't go on the dating apps every day. Dating apps are consuming and you want to go for quality over quantity. So my suggestion is match with a couple of people, take the conversation offline once you've established there is an interest, get to know them over a couple of weeks, and then go out to dinner with those couple of people before you then go back on the apps and meet more people. I definitely think you should be seeing a number of people at the same time. So definitely don't go one for one. However, it is all consuming when you are trying to establish a bit of an interest in someone to have other options flying at you as well. And if you don't make dating the full focus in your life, you will find you will just be a lot more relaxed about it and you'll find it incredibly enjoyable. If you have any other questions, please let me know.
Wow, this queen literally wants to kick off a LTR by her own dictated terms. That sounds exactly how love-based formulas work. I bet she will demand a minimum 4-star restaurant the guy has to pay for as well. Honey, let me try to help you out. An HVM that is going to jump through these hoops isn't doing it for you. You just happen to be there to enjoy what he already had planned. And to say going for quality over quantity is awesome. But what makes you think you have the SMV to demand the things you want? Let's call it what it is. All this is accomplishing is to get on the carousel of HVMs, but not much after that. Sure, you get the high-end date and the high-value tube steak, but you will not get a ring this way or even an LTR. I'm confident that most men worth their salt will place a woman with these high standards in the recreational use only category. Either that or he will just swipe left automatically. I'm just saying, if you enjoy this audit, click on the video in the end screen for more content. If you would like to support the channel, please follow the link in the description to donate to our beer fund, or like, subscribe, and share this video on other social media platforms. If you agree or disagree with anything about this audit, please let us know in the comments. I'm going to leave this audit right here. I'll see all of you in the next episode.